have a very important guest, Mr. Zubeen Mahapatra. And Mr. Zubeen Mahapatra, he achieved a rank of 235 in UPSC 2018, and right now he is an IPS officer. So he's here with us today to guide you all in this entire journey of civil services. So my first request to all of you will be that any question you have in your mind with regards to your preparation for UPSC, how to go about it, all the doubts that you're facing. So any kind of doubts, any kind of questions you have, feel free to ask Mr. Zubeen Mahapatra. Take this opportunity because such kind of opportunities are very rare. Hardly such kind of opportunities come by. And since you are getting such an opportunity, so you should take, you should try to utilize it as much as possible. And he has been able to spare time for us. He has been able to take out time from his busy schedule for us. So again, my
Yes.
request to you will be that whatever question you have in your mind, which is very very understandable, being a first time aspirant, so it is very very understandable that you will have a lot of questions, a lot of doubts, a lot of queries, you will have a lot of fears. So please clear all of it. Next 1 hour that will be conducting this special webinar for. Just to tell you a little bit regarding the AptiPlus Academy for Civil Services. So it is AptiPlus who is bringing this particular webinar for you, who has organized this very special webinar for you. We can also that AptiPlus is the best IAS coaching institute of Eastern India. So it is the best IAS coaching institute of Eastern India, and that can be very easily understood by the kind of results that we have been producing for the last, let's say, 5-10 years. So we have been producing very good results, and if you go to our website, we also have a sister website called as IAS Gyan, or you can go to AptiPlus's website. So Ajay, tell me something. A lot of people are saying that there's a lot of background noise. So is there still background noise right now? I have muted everyone. My little request to you will be, okay, whoever is joining, please mute your audio so that there is no background noise. Okay, I am trying to mute everyone from my end, but at the same time, my request to you, all of you who are joining, will be that please mute your audio when you are joining so that there is no background noise. Otherwise, it will be very, very difficult for us to hear each other, and especially to hear Mr. Mahapatra, who is our special guest today evening. So just tell me something. Is it okay right now? Can everyone hear me clearly now? Is there any background noise anymore? Am I clearly audible? Yes. Okay. So yeah. So this is my request to all of you. Please keep your audio on the mute mode so that we can hear clearly our special guest today evening. So anyway, talking about AptiPlus, as I was saying, that today undoubtedly AptiPlus is the largest and the best coaching institute of Eastern India. Earlier, when I used to be an aspirant, so whenever we had to study regarding UPSC, or we had to get any kind of guidance with regards to UPSC, we had to go to Delhi. So Delhi used to be the hub of IAS coaching institutes. Okay, am I audible? Because a lot of people are saying that sound is not coming. Am I audible clearly? Yes. Okay. So as I was saying that earlier, it was Delhi which used to be the hub of all coaching institutes, and if you had to prepare for UPSC civil services, you definitely had to go to Delhi. But with the growth of regional institutes like AptiPlus Academy for Civil Services, that is no longer the case anymore, because right now the best teachers from Delhi have been brought to you wherever you are located. If you are in Kolkata, or if you are in Bhubaneswar, if you are in West Bengal or any part of Odisha, you don't actually have to leave your state and go to Delhi. You can actually prepare within your state. I mean, you can stay within your state and you can prepare there in all the comforts that you get. And I hope all of you are safe right now with all this COVID-19 thing that is going around. I hope all of you are keeping well, all of you are healthy. So as you are aware that first of all you have to wear a mask and you have to maintain social distancing, and because of all these factors, the coaching institutes as well as all the schools, the colleges across the country, they are closed right now. So right now we are being able to have the physical classes in our coaching institutes. But then AptiPlus has been very innovative over here as well, and we have started with our online classes. The thing is, for many of the aspirants, they might feel that there are so much of uncertainties with regards to this UPSC, whether it will be conducted on time or whether it will get delayed. And that is why many of the aspirants will keep on delaying, they will keep on procrastinating and thinking, okay, maybe we should start the preparation once the notification and all comes out. But that is where most of the people tend to lose out. So the thing is, your preparation should be a continuous thing. There should be nothing which should actually stop your preparation, stop at any point of time. And to ensure that, we get to see AptiPlus, it has already started with its online classes. Already some classes, some NCRT classes have started online. And hence, the thing is, okay, we are right now going through these online classes, and we will be starting our physical classes as soon as possible. As soon as we get a go ahead from the government, we'll start with the physical class. So we are expecting, okay, by the end of July or by early August, we should be able to start with our offline classes. But till then, so that your preparation does not get interrupted, your preparation does not stop. So we have tried to ensure that by bringing to you all the online classes. So that is why I would actually invite you to come and join AptiPlus, because again, your entire preparation should not stop at any point of time. Preparation should go on, and that is why AptiPlus will ensure that while you are in the safety of your home, you keep on preparing, you keep on building a very solid base for your UPSC journey, so that once the offline classes resume, then you will be able to sharpen your knowledge, sharpen whatever you have learned till then, right? So this is my request to you. For more information on the joining procedure for AptiPlus, I will be handing over the control to Gargi ma'am, who will guide you further regarding this. And also, after Gargi ma'am has told you about how to join AptiPlus, after that, we will hand over the control to Mr. Zubin Mahapatra, IPS officer, who will guide you in this entire preparation as to how to prepare in the best way possible, what should be the correct strategy for you to prepare for UPSC. So I will just hand over the control to Gagi ma'am, who will guide you regarding this joining procedure. Okay, just a little bit of update. I think Gagi ma'am, who was supposed to guide you for the admission process, there's some kind of net problem with her. So just wanted to tell you this. Acha, I believe somebody, Priyodoshi Dasgupta, your video is on. So can you just switch off your video, Priyodoshi?
Okay, okay.
Just video so that we can allow Mr. Zumia. So just to tell you a little bit regarding this admission procedure, I believe that all of you would have submitted your registered email ID with AptiPlus, and you will be getting a mail tomorrow in which all the details. Gagi ma'am is not being able to join, but you will be getting a mail tomorrow regarding the joining procedure for AptiPlus Academy for Civil Services. So do check your mail tomorrow for this for the joining process. And now I will directly hand over the control to Mr. Mohapatra, who will be guiding you for the rest of the session. So again, take utilize this particular session as much as possible, and do not hesitate to ask your questions. But again, do it in an orderly manner. Let him answer a question first and then ask the next question. don't start rushing, and just keep a social distancing even while asking question. Okay, let him answer a question first and then you ask the next question. Okay, do it in an orderly manner, do it in a disciplined manner. So best of luck to you. I hope to see you very soon in AptPlus's classes. I'll be guiding you with geography and environment, and keep checking AptPlus's website for the latest updates. You also have something called as IES Gyan, which is our sister websites, which you can follow for the current affairs, and you will also have the gist of the important magazines like Yojana and all these important magazines. So I'll for now, and Mr. Zubin Mahapatra will take over. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hi everyone, Zubin Mahapatra here. Am I audible? Guys, can you confirm with a message or something?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm audible. I hope I'm visible as well.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So just in case anybody is not able to hear or you want me to repeat something, I can do that. Just raise a question in the chat, okay? Or raise a hand in the meeting and we'll address. So, like Mr. Datta said, we have limited time on the meeting today, on the webinar. So we'll try to divide into two parts. So I'll take around 15-20 minutes to just walk you guys through, as to what I wanted to share with you, what I want to talk with you about strategy and everything. And probably the last part of the meeting, probably 30 minutes, 20-30 minutes, we'll leave for your questions. Okay, that sounds good to everyone? Okay, awesome. So given that, the agenda today is how to prepare for UPSC in about a year's time with a job, right? So I'm assuming that most of you who have joined, if not all, you guys are in some sort of a job, right? Which is taking up your time, especially on the weekdays. Now, I'll keep that in mind while addressing, how to go about doing things first. Second, I should also share a small bit about me so that, because if you know my journey, you can relate to me and what I'm trying to tell. When, I was preparing, I started my preparation sometime in 2017, August, and I wrote my attempt in 2018, preliminary examination, and I got through IPS. So I was preparing with a job. So I was working for a US-based bank. I was their manager of information security. I had a small team of around 8 to 10 people that I was managing. And my job used to take up somewhere between 10 to 12 hours every day, including the travel time. I worked in Bangalore. So Bangalore traffic is world famous, And recently there was a report on Bangalore being one of the worst traffics in the world. You should know that report for your prelims examinations. So, but anyways, so 10 to 12 hours, I'm assuming that all of you are working for around 10 hours to 12 hours a day. So whatever we discuss, whatever strategy that I'll be telling you guys, keeping that in mind. Okay. All right. So how do we go about? Secondly, I'm also assuming that most of you who have joined us are seriously preparing for the next attempt, that is 2021 civil services examination, not the 2021. So if any one of you is attempting or writing the exam, which is the date for which will be soon declared by UPSC, then you can raise separate questions towards the end of the meeting, because my main address will be to people who are new to the process, right, and who are beginning their journey and we're trying to write it next year. Okay, so with that in mind, if you guys want to note something, you can start noting down now. So if you have a job, first question is, can you clear it? Yes, you can. I did. And a lot of people, every batch, if not a lot, at least there are around 5 to 10 people almost in every service who clear the exam with a job. I have multiple batchmates of mine in the IPS. I know somebody who was working in a public sector organization and he cleared it. So it is very much possible. That is the first point. Second point, what you need to do to clear the exam. Now, there are 4 things that you should always remember. 4 things, 4 principles. First principle is that you should commit to work very, very hard. And the reason I tell that is because, when we start something new, we are bubbling with energy. We have a lot of motivation. We start with a lot of energy, right? But what happens after 6 months, after 3 months, after a year or so, our energy reduces, right? We start giving up. Especially for people who are working and preparing, the pressure will be, very high. So have that realization. Okay. So right at the beginning, you should realize that you're going to be facing a lot of pressure. You will be facing a lot of crunch of time. You will be probably cutting down on your sleep. You'll be cutting down on your social obligations, family time, everything. So mentally be prepared for that. Okay, so you're committing to a very, very important process. So this exam remains one of the toughest exams in the world till date. First, second, the kind of profiles you get into once you get into IAS or IPS or IRS for that matter. The kind of work you will be doing, the kind of value we will be creating for our country as a whole is amazing. Nowhere else would you find this sort of an opportunity, right? So you realize that what you're doing, what hard work you'll be putting in is absolutely worth it. Okay, so that is the first point. Have utmost commitment to work hard, to keep all the pressure aside and focus on your work. Okay, and it is worth it. First point. Second point, you should have a concrete strategy and an execution plan. We will talk about strategy in next 3-4 minutes. Okay, I'll try to tell you almost everything that I can think of. Third point, third point is not to burn out. So now, when somebody is working as well as preparing for a tough exam, what will happen? You will again start with a lot of energy. After 2 to 3 months, 4 months, and by the time the exam comes, you are already tired. You are mentally tired. You are mentally gone. Okay. Now this exam, especially the prelims exam, is very, very unpredictable. I hope all of you have gone through at least 5 years of prelims exam papers. If you have not, go through it today or tomorrow or in next 1 week. Okay. So before you prepare, go through the first 5 years, the last 5 years of prelims exam papers. You'll realize that this process is, the exam is pretty tough and very, very unpredictable. Now, in that kind of an examination, you cannot just remember things and go and answer questions. You have to think on your feet. In the exam hall, you will see around 40 questions out of 100 that you probably are seeing for the first time. Okay. So you have to analyze the questions, use your brain, use your logic and answer them. How will that be possible if you're mentally tired? Not possible. So you have to remain mentally fresh. So you have to work extremely hard. You have to, do your job. Despite of that, and the journey itself is a very long journey. The entire civil services preparation takes roughly around 2 years. You prepare for around 10 months to 12 months. You write your prelims exam. Then again, after 3 months, you write your mains exam. Then the interviews, and finally, the result comes sometime in April, May. Right? So it is a complete 1 year process for the exam only, and the preparation of 1 year before that. So 2 years for you to maintain your motivation, for you to maintain your energy levels. It is very important that you do not tire out mentally, and we'll talk about what you should be doing to ensure that you do not tire out mentally. You do not burn out, because if you get burnt out, if you get frustrated, if you get mentally tired out, you will not be able to solve questions in the exam hall. Okay. Now, so these are the 4 main things I wanted to address before I start. Realize it's a very tough journey. It will be very, very tough on you. There will be times when you will feel like crying. You can cry. It's absolutely okay. There will be times when you will feel, no, I cannot do it. There will be times when the competition will look very, very tough, right? 5 lakh, 6 lakh people will be writing, 10 lakh odd fill the forms, right? And hardly 700 people clear the exam, right? And that too, again, within that, you have to see what service you want to get into, what rank you need to, get into the service of your choice, so on and so forth. So do not let all these things impact you. First point. Okay. Now, if you have, paper, pen, I think, and you're new to the process, this is where I want you to start writing things. Now let's get into the strategy. Now with a job, I'm assuming, like I said, most of you, I'm assuming are with a job, which is taking up around 10 to 12 hours of your time, right? So what strategy we should follow, right? So now for people, I have spoken to a lot of friends of mine, a lot of batchmates of mine who did not have a job. So those people typically follow a rule of 8 plus 8 plus 8. Okay. 8 plus 8 plus 8. That means they divide their day into chunks of 8 hours. Now 8 hours is for sleep. You should get good sleep. At least 6 to 8 hours of sleep you must have. Otherwise, you will not be able to memorize things. So memory is directly related to good sleep that you get. So if you are not resting well, you will never be able to remember things. So the 8 plus 8 plus 8 rule is for people who do not have a job. So 8 hours of sleep, 8 hours for everything else, taking bath, preparing food, talking to friends, talking to family, everything else, coaching, and 8 hours for self-study. So that is the rule you should follow if you do not have a job. So if you're doing nothing, only preparing, at least 8 hours a day, you must provide for your own preparation. Done? Hi Swati and Dilip. I see you guys. If you guys could minimize your videos or probably stop your videos. Yeah, thank you. So now coming back to people with job, just give me a sec. Right. Now, coming back to people who are working in a job, so I said 10 to 12 hours you're taking for your work, and that should involve all your preparation time, commutation, food, and everything. So, can everybody leave a message on the chat? Somebody is saying that probably they're not able to. Okay, awesome. Now, um, I just sent a hello, and did everybody get it? No? Okay, just give me a sec. Did you get my message now? No? Not yet? I think that should work. Can you guys see my messages now? Okay, awesome. Now, coming back to the strategy part. Now, if you're working for 12 hours a day or 10 hours a day, so remove that. So what we are left with is 12 hours. So out of 12 hours, I said you have to sleep for around minimum 6 to 8 hours or 7 hours. Let's assume 7 hours. So you are left with 5 hours. Now, 5 hours of time, 5 hours per day is a minimum that you should be providing to your preparations, right? But it may not be physically possible for you to prepare for 5 hours every single day, right? Because we have a human brain, it tires out, it feels burnt out. So probably, let's say in a week you're studying for 3 to 4 days, 5 hours a day along with your job, right? So you're mentally getting tired out. So probably one day you can take off, or one day you can just do 2 hours of studies. That's okay, because you still will be having your weekends. So you have to utilize your weekends to the fullest, right? Oh, sorry. नहीं, pause हो गया था. I started again. Okay, all right. So now let's get into the strategy part. What all you should be studying. So people who have been preparing for a while, you might be knowing what sources you should be following, what sources you like following. But for people who are, can I have a quick vote? Do you guys want me to get into what you should be studying for, especially new people? Yes or no? Okay, awesome. So it seems like a lot of people want me to cover that. So let's go one by one. Please note it down. I'll go real quick because we have limited time. I want to give you guys some time to basically ask me questions. So I'll really quickly, I'll absolutely quickly try to cover what you guys should be doing. So first thing, you need to go through the syllabus of the exam. Okay. Download. So there is a PDF available which is issued by UPSC. Just Google it. UPSC syllabus, civil services exam PDF, download it, take a printout, okay, learn it by heart. You must know your syllabus by heart, okay. There is no two ways about it. You cannot prepare for the exam unless you know what you need to study, okay. So that is the first thing you should study. Second, now once you go through the syllabus, you'll realize you have to, by and large, मोटा मोटी के तौर पे yeah, one more note again. Somebody just announced on the chat. I again repeat: when you message me, try to send it to everyone. Do not just send it to me privately. Otherwise, it automatically goes back to private. So people will not be able to raise their questions publicly. Okay. So just ask your questions on the public forum and send it to everyone. So everybody will benefit from that. Okay. Awesome. So now, once you go through syllabus, you'll realize by and large, you will have to study polity. You will have to study governance of India. You will have to study history. History will be basically world history, modern history, medieval history, ancient history, and some part of art and culture, right? Then geography. Geography will be again Indian geography and world geography. Again, within that, human geography or economic geography and physical geography, right? Somebody just asked a question, how will we be able to cover the big syllabus? So we're getting to that. So I'm trying to tell you guys, what you should be studying and how we'll be tackling one by one, right? Now, after geography, you have to do Indian society and some basic of sociology that will really help you in essays and mains exam. Then, finally, you have to also do economy and environment. So these are the broad topics you must do. Now let's go one by one. You guys can note it down. So for polity, in fact, for everything, the first thing you should be doing is going through NCRTs. I think Mr. Datta, sir, who started the discussion today, even he mentioned that NCRTs are pretty important, and I cannot stress it enough. Direct questions come in both prelims and mains from NCRTs. So do not discount NCRTs. आप NCRTs को हल्के में मत लीजिएगा, ठीक है? So NCRT आप एक बारी पढ़िए. Try to go through NCRT right from standard 9th to 12th if you are comfortable in that subject. For example, let's say you have an economy background. Let's say you have a polity background, right? उस केस में आप 9th से 12th पढ़िए, ठीक है? And if you do not have any background, you are really struggling in a subject, then you can go from 6th to 12th. Okay, otherwise 9th to 12th should be sufficient. Okay, first point. Second point, what all subjects you should be reading NCRT for? I'll just type out a list. Read NCRT for polity, read NCRT for economy. Most important in economy, most important for economy is 11th and 12th macroeconomics. They're very important. Okay, so read NCRT for polity, read NCRT for economy. Society, again, for society you should only stick to 11th and 12th. Geography, I think 9th to 12th should be sufficient. If you need to understand more basics, go from 6th to 12th. Done? So polity is done, society is done, geography is done, history. History you should do Our Past series. There are 3 books of standard 6th and 7th, I think. It's called Our Past. Do that. And then there is a series of NCRT called Themes of Indian History. And both these are new NCRTs. A lot of people ask me that in other forums that I've spoken to students, they ask me whether we should be doing old NCRT or new NCRT. It does not matter. Trust me, it doesn't matter. Do the new ones. They are easier to read. Old ones will be a little more bulky. But I personally never did it. So if you want to do it, you're free to do it. But I think the new NCRTs are good enough for you to get a very good hang of the overall syllabus. Right? Point number 1. I hope you have noted down the NCRTs that you must be doing. And yes, biology, you should not spend time in going through physics, chemistry of 12th class, 10th class. See, if you have time, do it. But people who are doing the job, you will be having less time. So you cannot be mentally prepared that you cannot do everything, right? There will be portions which you may have to cut down. So that you have to do intelligently. Just go through last 5 years of question. That will give you an indication what UPSC is asking, right? Now, if you look at it, they are not asking you technical questions from physics or chemistry anymore, right? Since last 5 or 6 years, right? Now, so with that being said, why should you be spending time on going through physics and chemistry for 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th? You don't have to do that. For science and tech, I can tell you one thing, that for science and tech, you do not need to go through all the NCRTs. Just focus on current affairs. And current affairs, I'll come to what you should be doing. S&T, you should only focus on current affairs. For environment, there is a 12th standard biology book of NCRT that you should go through. Okay, so that is all that you need to do from NCRT point of view. NCRTs will not take you a lot of time. They're very simple, written in very lucid language. बहुत ही simple language में लिखा गया है. बहुत स्कूल के बच्चों के लिए है. आप लोग आराम से उसको 1-1.5-2 महीने में मैक्सिमम खत्म कर सकते हैं. ठीक है? And for those people who are going to coaching, I don't know आप लोग कितने लोग coaching ले रहे हैं, नहीं ले रहे हैं. That again is a personal choice. आप कोचिंग लेंगे तो कोई बुराई नहीं है, और ऐसा भी नहीं है कि आप कोचिंग नहीं लेंगे तो नहीं कर पाएंगे एग्जाम. इट इज नॉट एन एडिक्वेट कंडीशन, है ना. अगर आपको लग रहा है यू नीड सम सपोर्ट, यू कैन गो फॉर कोचिंग. आई थिंक मोस्ट ऑफ द क्लासेस, आई थिंक Apti Plus also sir or ma'am can later clarify to you. You also have, I think, weekend classes for working people. So अगर आपको ऐसा लग रहा है कि you need some more help, you can go for weekend classes, because weekdays you'll be working. Weekend classes आप अगर लेंगे तो probably you can go for coaching, but उससे क्या होगा कि maybe your self study का जो time है वो थोड़ा shrink हो जाएगा. So you may have to push a little harder. So जो weekend पे आपको 10 घंटे मिलते हैं self study के लिए, now you'll be spending 6 to 7 hours in the coaching. So come back and probably आपको weekends पे कम सोना पड़ेगा. Maybe you have to do with 4-5 hours of sleep on the weekends. Okay, so that's my view on coaching. So don't ask me whether I should be joining coaching. मुझे करना चाहिए नहीं करना चाहिए. एक दो लोगों ने मुझे प्राइवेट मैसेज भी किया है. So that I cannot tell you. That depends on your readiness. आप कितना अच्छे से समझ पा रहे हैं. If you are going through NCERTs, you are not able to understand anything. Then maybe you need some help. So in that case, probably you can go for a coaching. अगर आप सब कुछ खुद से ही कर पा रहे हैं, you are able to understand everything. You are able to access the free resources on YouTube or anywhere else, and you are able to understand things, and probably you can do it without a coaching. ठीक है? So that depends on your self choice. But yes, coaching आप करेंगे तो आपको एक spoon feeding type का मिल जाता है. You'll get material, you'll get notes. So उससे शायद आपको थोड़ा time बच जाए. So that's a choice you have to make for yourself. Okay? Now coming back to the other sources. NCERT हमने cover कर लिया. The other sources are, kindly note down, for polity, I think all of you know Lakshmikant. That is the Bible. That is very, very important. और हर एक question जो mains और prelims में आएगा, polity के static area से वो Lakshmikant से आएगा. It is very, very important. It is Bible for a preparation. Okay. Then for history, modern. So out of all history, ancient, medieval, art and culture, and modern history is the most important. Okay, you get maximum questions from modern history, especially in prelims, and mains mein also you get around 3-4 questions from modern history. Okay, so modern history, like I said earlier, do your NCERTs first. वो basic आपका clear कर देगा. Then you go for, there is a book by Rajiv Ahir sir. He's an IPS. He has written a book which is printed by Spectrum Publications. So go through that book. Modern History, Rajiv Ahir sir's book. It's amazing. It's really good. It's very comprehensive. Just focus on that. Okay, that should be sufficient. For medieval and ancient history, I did not go through any other source, but NCERT is the ones I have already told you. So if you want to go through something else, then you can go through. There are multiple books. Romila Thapar ma'am has written a book. Then there are multiple books. So for ancient and medieval, I never went through anything. I just went through the NCERTs for medieval and ancient, and that should be sufficient. Okay, but in prelims, keep one thing in mind: you will get surprising questions from art and culture, ancient and medieval, which may not be there in any of the books. Okay, so be prepared mentally, be prepared for that. There will be surprise questions. So the sources I'm telling you, do not expect them to get you all answers that will be asked in the UPSC exam. That is not possible, because it's not a school exam, right? If that was the case, the exam would not have been so tough. So there will be questions which you probably have to think and try and do it on the spot. Okay, those questions you cannot prepare for. Okay, now modern history is done. What else? Yeah, for economy, I think NCERT is sufficient. With NCERTs, you can go for economy. You can go for NCERTs plus Ramesh Singh. It's a good book. If you're preparing yourself, go for that. If any of you are joining coaching, it can be any coaching, probably for let's say you're joining Apti Plus. I'm sure they have their own material for each subject. They have their own current affair material. You can easily refer that. So just keep it to one source, because with a job you cannot complete 3 sources per subject. Not possible with a job. Okay, so just do one source. If you're doing NCERT and Ramesh Singh, stick to that. Do not start going through coaching notes. If you're doing NCERTs and coaching notes, just do that. Do not start going through Ramesh Singh in the middle of the year. That will get you very, very disheartened. You will not be able to remember things. Okay, so limit your sources. Very, very important for people who are preparing with a job. Limit your sources. Okay. Now that's mostly, again, geography, only NCERTs. You don't have to go through Majid Hussain and all those books, but if you want to, you can. Okay, I'm not saying don't go through it. I could not go through it because I was doing it a job. Time did not permit me to go through that. If you can, then go through it. But I think geography, by and large, the NCERTs are sufficient. And for environment, again, the questions will be of very, very current in nature. So 2 to 3 questions out of 15 maybe will come from static. That static part mostly will be covering from your NCERT, 12th biology. People who will be going for coaching institutes, I think all the coaching institutes nowadays, they are giving you material for environment, which will have all the static portion. You can cover it from there, or you can go for Shankar's book. Okay, so Shankar's book has been followed by a lot of people for a long, long time. But the challenge is Shankar's book is very bulky, and not everything is relevant to UPSC exam. Okay, so if you're going through Shankar's, then all the best. You can go through it. I never had the time to go through it, so just focus on some notes. And trust me, guys, you have everything available on net. Okay, so if you're going for a coaching, great. People will be there to help you. People will be there to give you notes. But if you're not going for it, just Google it. Okay, so just Google, environment notes for static portion. You will find enough of it from multiple institutes. Just pick any one of them and go through it. Okay, so that mostly I have covered almost everything that you should be doing from a static preparation point of view. I hope you have noted it. Now quickly moving into the current affairs, because I see a lot of people are asking me current affairs, which site we should go on, what net, what online source you should be following. Some people are asking that we're beginners, should we be making short notes? Let me come to that, current affairs. Now, just before that, one question somebody asked, what about geography? I just repeated, I have typed it above. You can scroll and see, Varsha. Geography, you should only be focusing on NCERT 9th to 12th, or maybe 6th to 12th. That is sufficient. But again, if you have time, if you're not working, if you have a lot of time at hand, then you can do any other source. For example, a lot of my friends did this book for geography. Okay, a lot of people can. There are geography notes available freely of a site called PMFIS. You have free notes available by PMFIS on geography. And for those people, some people are asking Hindi medium के लिए क्या करना है? So सोनू, हिंदी मीडियम के लिए यार मुझे बहुत ज़्यादा आइडिया नहीं है, because I wrote it in English medium. But mostly जितने भी notes मैंने देखे हैं, किसी के भी PMFIS को हो या फिर बहुत सारे maximum of these institutes, they have their Hindi version as well. हिंदी के वर्जन अवेलेबल होते हैं और फ्री में मिल जाते हैं. आप एक बार गूगल कीजिए. अगर आपको तब भी नहीं मिलता, प्रॉब्ली कैन टॉक टू मिस्टर दत्ता सर और जो इंस्टीट्यूट के स्टाफ है, दे माइट बी एबल टू हेल्प यू बेटर, क्योंकि मुझे बहुत ज्यादा आइडिया नहीं है हिंदी सोर्सेस पे, टू बी ऑनेस्ट. बट जहां तक मुझे याद आ रहा है, आई थिंक ऑलमोस्ट एवरीथिंग इज अवेलेबल इन हिंदी एज वेल, जो भी नोट्स होते हैं. ठीक है. सो नाउ कमिंग टू सुमंत is asking modern history के लिए क्या पढ़ना चाहिए. सुमंत, I have already answered it. So because there's a lot of people, काफी सारे questions आ रहे हैं. So जो चीज मैंने already type कर दीजिए, please scroll. आप chat को एक बार ऊपर लेके जाइए, you will be able to see. मैंने author वगैरह सारे के नाम दे दिए हैं. Okay. Now coming to current affairs only. So now, is it mandatory to go through Hindu? I will say yes and no. The reason is, आप लोग अभी बहुत नए हैं. People who are just starting with the preparations, and say कुछ लोग मेंस के बारे में भी पूछ रहे हैं. There will be a lot of questions. Let's face it, we have limited time. So within the framework of this meeting, we may not be able to answer all questions. I'm just trying to address those questions which are necessary or which will necessitate your preparation. आप start कैसे करें preparation, मैं वो चीज पे ज़्यादा focus कर रहा हूँ. I'm not getting into how you'll be writing answers and all that. So UPSC is a huge journey. Or the entire strategy, if I said to discuss, it will take 3 hours. So probably we can arrange for one more such meeting. We can talk to sir and see if that is possible. But trust me, I'm trying to answer as many questions as possible. Just pardon me if some questions go unanswered, because not feasible to cover everything within a short span of time, right? Somebody raised a good point that I did not say sources for governance. Yes, so I'll quickly write that. So for governance, just focus. There is a book by Lakshmikant again, but it's a big book. Okay, so Indian polity, you have a book of Lakshmikant that you must do. Governance, there is another book called Indian Governance by Lakshmikant that you can do selectively. Or for governance, the better way of doing it is to refer any, if you're going for a coaching, just refer that material, whatever material they provide for governance, or just go through second ARC report.
हाँ थे तो ना
प्रियदर्शनी, आई थिंक आप प्लीज खुद को म्यूट करिए, और somebody जिसने म्यूट नहीं किया, थोड़ा नॉइज आ रहा था, बट एनीवेज, so for governance second ARC report is amazing. आप एक बार वो PDF डाउनलोड करिए, it is around 100 page, it's a very bulky report, but you just download a summary of it. Type second ARC summary on Google, you will find multiple PDFs. Just go through any one of them, around 100 pages का होगा. That's a very good way to start your governance preparation. And Lakshmikant की book, तो I have already told you, there are two books, mind you. One is on polity, Indian polity, one is on governance. Indian polity you must do mandatory. Governance, if you find it very big, then you can do it selectively. Just do some important chapters of governance. Like for example, you should know what is citizen charter, what is Right to Information Act and multiple sections of the act. So those things you just address. So and what area to address you will be knowing from your syllabus and last 5 years of question, right? Now some people are asking what was my option. My option was sociology. So for people who are working and preparing, you should choose an optional which has a limited syllabus, a concrete syllabus. For example, when I started my preparation, I liked public administration, I liked political science. There was sometime I was also thinking of management, mathematics. You can just go for the optional subject that you love, but keep in mind there are certain optional subjects which are a little bigger in their syllabus. For example, political science and international relations is slightly bigger than anthropology or even sociology. So I chose sociology because I had I felt the sociology the syllabus was pretty concrete, pretty limited, and I could relate to the subject. And sociology helps you write good answers in mains, it helps you write good answers in ethics as well, and good essays as well. So that was my reason. Now you can choose your optional for what but three things, remember. It should interest you, because optional you have to prepare for the most amount of time. You have to prepare around 2 to 3 months only for optionals. Okay, so the optional you choose should be very it should interest you. It should not bore you out. Do not go for a subject which you find boring. Second thing, the optional syllabus should be concrete and it should be limited, and you should feel that I can complete my syllabus within a limited period of time because you're doing it as a job. Third point you should remember in the optional is that the optional specific verbiage or language you should be able to write. For example, sociology and political science, there is a particular language you need to write. So if you feel your writing skills, obviously it can be improved with time and practice, but let's say you do not feel that I have a lot of time to devote to my writing practice, then I will say choose a safe option. Probably public administration does not need a lot of language skills. Sociology will definitely need some amount of language skills. You need to write in a good flow, in your structuring has to be good. Public administration is more factual in nature. The questions they will be asking you will be applied in nature. So for example, mathematics, you don't need any writing skills, right? So you decide for yourself what interests you, what skill sets you have, and then you can choose for an optional. Some people are asking me sources for particular optionals. I'm sorry, we'll not be able to cover it currently because we have very limited time. I have to give you time for more questions. So let's focus on GS today. We'll try to get into something, the optionals, the mains part later on. Okay, if we can, circle back and have a meeting one more time. Okay, so now coming back to current affairs, people who are starting off, you will find, reading Hindu slightly difficult because Hindu's language is slightly difficult. The paper's layout is a little, difficult to understand. So initially, I'll suggest if you go to YouTube, you'll find daily news analysis by almost every site. Okay, there are multiple institutes for putting up their daily news analysis. I think even Aptiplus does that. So just choose anyone you like. Okay, try to understand from that video what they're talking about, because initially when you're starting preparations, if you start going through the Hindu editorials, you may not be able to understand. Let's face it. I mean, even I have gone through that phase. You will be sitting with Hindu for 2, 3, 4 hours a day. Your paper will not get over because your static is not at a level that it should be for you to start going through Hindu and making sense of it. Okay, so first focus on NCERT for initial 2 to 3 months. Go through Hindu, but don't spend a lot of time. Just flip through it and go to YouTube. Look at daily news analysis of any institute, okay, of your choice. So that will give you a very good base to start with. Then once you have gone through all the NCERTs, once you know good a bit of information and you have good knowledge on your static subjects, then go for Hindu and its editorials. And Hindu or Indian Express. You don't go through two papers. You will not be able to manage, especially for people who are working. Going through one paper itself will be a challenge. Okay, so either Hindu or Indian Express. I personally liked both of them. Indian Express editorials are slightly easier, and you can understand it slightly better than Hindu. But again, Hindu editorials are a treasure trove. It's a gold mine of facts and analysis. So after spending 2 to 3 months in your preparation, then go for Hindu intensely. Till then, just focus on YouTube and one daily news analysis per day. Okay, of any institute, Apti Plus, Delhi-based institute, Hyderabad-based institute, does not matter. Any institute, just go through the daily news analysis per day. That should get you, well acquainted with the current affairs. First point. Second point, people are asking how many years of current affairs I should be doing. Ideally, you should be doing 2 years of current affairs. Till 2013, questions used to be asked only from last 1 year of current affairs. But if you look at 2017 question, 18 prelims paper, which was the toughest in probably last 10, 15, 12 years, and 2019 paper, they asked questions which were in news in 2017, they asked in 19. They asked questions from 2016 in 2018. There were 2-3 questions like that. So at least prepare for 2 years of current affairs. Now, people are also asking what magazine I should be following, right? You should be following a magazine of your choice. Okay. Now, if I tell you that I did Vision, or if I tell you I did, Apti Plus magazine, does not mean that you will find that magazine appealing or interesting. And trust me, almost all magazines are the same. Okay, in terms of quality, in terms of content, almost all of them are the same. So just take any 1 month. Just take June 2019. Pick 2-3 magazines, okay, of different institutes. Go through it, see what is appealing the most to you. You might not like font of a particular magazine. You might not like the representation of a particular magazine. Some magazines may not be very complete. For example, they talk about, let's say, Syrian crisis, but they do not have a map of Syria on that particular magazine. That means that magazine is not complete. So you have to do Google after that. So try and see for yourself, go through 2, 3, 4 magazines, see what appeals to you the most, which you like the most, which is the most complete, and start going through it. Okay, just pick up any one magazine. For example, if you're doing Apti Plus magazines of every month, just do Apti Plus magazines of last 12 months or 15 months or 20 months of 2 years. You should be doing. If you're doing Vision, then only focus on Vision. Don't start doing multiple magazines. You will not be able to manage. Okay, because the syllabus is so big. The first thing is to mentally create a cutoff. Beyond this, I'll not be increasing my sources. So pick any one good magazine which comes out monthly, and practice and go through it. It can be Apti Plus, it can be Vision, it can be anything. Insights, IS Baba, whatever you like, just go through that. Okay. I hope I'm clear. Hindu properly you should be reading after 3-4 months of preparation so that you're able to understand what they're talking about. And just going through Hindu while sipping a cup of coffee like this will not help. Okay, you're not old, you're not getting up in the morning to enjoy your newspaper with tea. No, that will not help. If you're going through paper, if you're relying on your own notes, see, now making short notes from paper, it takes a lot of time, to be honest. I tried doing it for a month or 2, then I stopped because I was not having time. 10 hours, 11 hours I was working in the office. So it again depends. If you are only preparing, you are not having a job, then please focus on your static first, then go through all the current affairs, magazines, your daily news analysis, and your 4 or 5 hours in a day will be easily done. I don't think you'll have time to make notes. So making newspaper notes is not mandatory at all, trust me. But if you have time, then you can make notes. But your notes should be complete. So for example, Hindu has a news on, let's say, Syrian crisis, or Hindu has a news on what Mr. Donald Trump said about Israel-Palestine relation. Then it is your duty to make your notes complete by going and Googling on these things, seeing their map. For example, Syria was in news because of Syrian refugee crisis. In 2018, they asked a question about, 17, they asked a question about Golan Heights, which is a disputed land between Syria and Israel. Okay. Now, if you didn't go through the map, you will not be able to do that question. So when you go through newspaper, just don't flip through and, sip your tea. Do it actively. Google about it. If you see something you don't understand, Google about it and try to make a note of it. if you're making notes for yourself. Otherwise, just focus on your daily news analysis on YouTube plus monthly magazine of any one institute. Okay, I hope that is clear. Somebody is asking which state you are from. I am from Odisha. But yes, we're preparing. It doesn't really matter, does it? We're preparing for Indian services. So what else? There are a few people asking about ethics. Yes, good question. So for ethics, I think, see, ethics you should be doing after you have gone through your GS papers. Okay. So unless you understand polity well, unless you understand the basics of 11th and 12th sociology, NCRTs that I mentioned, and unless you know Indian history, I don't think you should prepare for ethics. I'll tell you why. Because in ethics paper, if you just go through an ethics book, I'll tell you the most famous book is G. Subbarao, retired IAS. His book is the most famous, but again, you can pick up any coaching institute's notes as well. It doesn't really matter. You just need to understand the terminologies. What is deontology? What did Kant say? For example, what did Buddha say in terms of ethics? And why I'm telling ethics preparation should come last after you have done your GS paper is because in ethics paper, when you write answers, you'll not be able to get marks if you write only theoretical answers. So in 2018 attempt that I wrote, I got into IPS. I had 116, if I remember, in ethics. It was, I think, second highest. And I feel, even I have spoken to a lot of people who scored more than 110. I have spoken to at least 5 or 6 of them. They say the same thing. If you write only ethical answers, they give you a case study, you only use ethics and you write, you will not get a lot of marks. You have to use your GS knowledge. You have to use Indian Constitution. Now, there are multiple sources of ethics. The biggest source of ethics for you, me, is our Constitution. That is our Bible. So unless you mention your political, your polity knowledge in your answers, you will not get good marks. Unless you mention about poverty and how poverty is an ethical question, is socialism better than capitalism, so on and so forth. These questions you will be answering from economy. Environmental ethics. Does the wildlife's life matter? Should we cut down forests to reduce poverty by increasing industries? These are questions you will get answers from sociology or environment subject. So unless you have done your GS papers well, I don't think you should go for ethics initially. Spend 5-6 months on your GS papers, do polity well, economy well, environment well, NCRT sociology well, and then go for ethics. You will be able to have a multi-dimensional view of ethics. And we can have a separate session for ethics. I mean, a lot of people are asking me questions on ethics, some of them privately. Trust me, guys, ethics itself is a huge discussion, and it is very, very important, mind you. So for you to get a good rank in mains, essay, ethics are very, very important, along with your optional. GS papers, if you've done a good preparation, almost all the people who clear, they get in the same range. Okay, so you must get around 400 to 450, 460 in the GS paper to qualify, but your main rank, subjects which will make you clear the exam will be optionals, ethics, and essay. Okay, now essay preparation will depend on how well you have prepared your GS papers. Again, it is not possible for me to just take 5 minutes and explain how to write a good essay, right? So we probably will need more time for that. So I'm really sorry. I will try to address questions which I can address in quick time. Okay, so essay, but main thing, cardinal principle writing a good essay. One thing I can tell you is complete your GS papers well. Unless you have a very good mastery on polity, economy, sociology, environment, you will not be able to write a good multi-dimensional wide essay. Because in essay of UPSC, I don't think that message went to everybody. Let me copy it again. So in UPSC essays, the essay has to be very wide. If there is a topic, for example, on poverty, you have to cover the political aspect of poverty, social aspect of poverty, how the environment is suffering because of our attempts to elevate poverty, right? Sonu, can you basically take your video down, stop your video? I saw your question, I'll answer it. So you also must, so all the essay topic that you choose, you have to cover all angles. You have to cover polity, you have to cover sociology, you have to cover environment, economy, everything. So unless you prepare GS well, you'll not be able to answer a good, write a good essay. So do not try to write an essay now when you're preparing. You'll not be able to write a good essay. So give it first 3 to 4 months. You should only focus on NCRTs, focus on Lakshmikant, focus on the static part, and then start writing answers. Okay. Now people are asking me on authentic source on net. See, guys, all sources are authentic. Go to any well-known institute site. People are asking daily questions. I think even AptiPlus, I think if there is any staff from AptiPlus on the call, they can clarify. I think they also post 5 or 10 questions every day for prelims on current affairs. Insights does, Vision does, almost every single site does, and the quality is almost the same. So please choose it as per your interest, like I said. So if you find somebody's site more colorful, go for it. If you find somebody's site and let's say you start doing it, okay, you answered the questions on a particular site for 5-6 days, you are not liking it, then you can change it, right? So there is no one good site that I can tell you, but mostly people use from what I have seen. So AptiPlus has their own site, Vision has their own site, Insights has their own site, IS Baba has their own sites. So there are so many institutes. I don't think it will be fair for me to mention a few of them because almost all of them have good content. There is a site by GS Score; they also have good content. So just go through any site that you want. Okay. Uh, Somebody is asking me a question on India Yearbook. See, India Yearbook, it's a pretty big book. So there have been 2 years, 16 and 17, where direct questions came from Indian Yearbook, 2 or 3 questions. But the thing is, there is something called ROI. In economy, you will know about return on investment. When you are working, when you have limited time, you should give time to sources which will give you a lot of questions. For example, if you only have 10 hours to prepare or revise before your prelims exam, I will say use those 10 hours to go through Rajiv Iyer sir's modern history book and Lakshmikant polity, because they will give you maximum number of questions. Around 25-30 questions will come from only polity and modern history. Right now, India Yearbook is a big book. It's a very good source. It's an authentic source, but only go for it if you have a lot of time. If you have time to spare, if you have around let's say 1 week's time to spare, then go for the book, because if you just read through it once, you'll not be able to remember anything. So whatever you will be doing, you have to do it at least twice. Okay, so do not start India Yearbook unless you have 1 week slot allotted to it and you can give it 1 week, full 1 week. So 5-6 hours every day. If you go through the book, it will take you around 6-7 days to complete, and again you have to come back and revise. It will take you 3-4 days to revise. But again, that is the India Yearbook. Did I go through it? I went through it, but selectively. For example, I went through agriculture chapter from India Yearbook. It's really good. So note down the chapters if you want. From what I can recall, agriculture is a good chapter. Then there's a chapter on MSME industry specifically. See, agriculture, MSME, they are very important topics. They are in news all the time. So selectively go through it. Just go through the chapters which you feel have been in news for a long time, or go through the chapters where you feel you are weak. It will give you a very good perspective. It will give you a government's perspective. Okay. One more source I forgot. You should absolutely be doing is economic survey and budget. Okay. Now again, every good institute, they come up with their own summary. I recently went through AptiPlus's economic survey and budget document. It was pretty good. I in the past have gone through Insights document, Visions document. They have also been good. So make a choice. Just pick up any one institute's summary and go through the summary for economic survey and budget. If you have time, go through the entire economic survey, because both the parts, there are two volumes of economic survey, and both of them put together are around 700 to 800 pages. So if you do not have the time to go through 700 pages yourself, just go through any particular summary by any institute. That should be sufficient. But economic survey you should do for 2 years. Budget and economic survey of 2 years is a must. Okay, because that is the most authentic source, because it is produced by the government, the chief economic advisor, and the language of economic survey is beautiful. The kind of facts they highlight is beautiful. You should remember them and you should write it in the examination. Okay. For example, if they ask you a question on poverty, you should know not only what is poverty line or what is the amount of poverty in India as per Mr. C. Rangarajan committee, or maybe as per Tendulkar committee. You should also know the current status of poverty as per the economic survey. It will really, really help you write a good answer. Okay, so economic survey is must. There is no choice in that. Okay, now any other questions? I think we have addressed almost everything that I wanted to address. So people are asking me on practicing. So test practice. You should join a test series for prelims and for both mains once you clear prelims. Before that, like I said, daily questions. I think somebody clarified from the AptiPlus team that they are posting daily questions on Facebook. Just go to their page, do some questions from their page, do some questions from some other institute's page. It doesn't really matter. Do practice MCQs daily. Do at least 10 15 questions daily. Then probably after you have prepared for 5 6 months, probably from December onwards, join a prelims test series. Okay. You can join any, like I said, I do not want to name particular institutes because there is no institute which can guarantee you that you do my questions and you'll get a question in, you'll get 10 questions in the UPSC. The idea of test series is not that. The idea of test series for you is to familiarize yourself, to get your brain running, to get your brain thinking. Okay, so almost any institute, if you pick up, you will get a good practice. So I think all the institutes nowadays, they have around 30 to 40 exams that they do in a particular test series. Take any one of them and write the entire test series. So at least 20 to 30 exams you should write before your prelims exam. Do not neglect prelims. The biggest mistake I have seen people do is neglecting prelims. What they do is people get obsessed with writing answers, practicing for means, doing ethics, doing optional. They keep doing it till February, March, whereas the exam, probably prelims will be in May. Then only last 2 months they prepare for prelims. They start writing tests. They will only write 10, 15 tests and go to the exam. Prelims is the most difficult round, let me remind you. So 10 lakh will suddenly become 10,000. So it's a conversion ratio of 0.001%. Okay. So prelims is the most competitive and the most unpredictable part of this exam. Remember, prelims cannot help you become an IAS or an IPS. Mains will help, interview will help in that. But prelims can stop you from becoming an IAS or an IPS. Okay. So if you do not clear prelims, you are not getting any opportunity. You have to wait for another year. So please take prelims very seriously. Practice prelims questions. Practice prelims series. Okay. So I hope that question is also answered. Some people are asking subject specific questions. I have questions on history. I have questions on economy. See, I have told you the broad sources that you should be covering. So first go through that. Probably we can request sir to probably organize another meeting sometime else, to go through specific subjects or specific areas of the syllabus, right? Because if I get into the specifics of economy, how you should be doing, what you should be doing, I have already told you, first start with NCERT. Okay, then think of anything else. And economic survey you have to do. Okay, so those two sources should be sufficient. If you want more, go for Ramesh Singh or any other coaching institute's material. Right? Beyond that, I don't think you need to do anything on economy unless you have economy optional. Okay, so optional is a different ball game altogether. We are not discussing optional today. Okay. Yes, some people are asking me questions on CSAT. Guys, again, I have some questions on sociology optional, geography optional, political science optional. See, we can talk about these, but today is not the right forum. So please give chance to other people to ask about their GS doubts, right? We'll try to cover optional questions sometime else. I'm really sorry for that because we're already running short of time. So some people are asking me question on, I see, do you need to do Yojana and Kurukshetra? Good question. Yojana and Kurukshetra are good sources. They're again sources of the government. So anytime you have any source by the government, it's really good because the language they use is a language you should be using for UPSC mains exam. So yes, if you have time, go through Yojana and Kurukshetra. If you do not have time, you can skip it because I think most of the topics will be covered in editorials, in your daily news analysis, in your magazines by, for example, AptiPlus magazine. I think I have gone through a few of them. So they also cover most of the topics that are covered in the Kurukshetra and Yojana. Even Vision does. Almost any good magazine, any good monthly magazine also covers the same issues as Kurukshetra and Yojana does. So if you have time, go through it. If you do not have time, you can skip it. It's not mandatory. But yes, they are very good sources. So if you have time, please go through it. How to improve answer writing skills? Guys, you are very new to the process. So do not focus on answer writing now because you'll feel disheartened. First, like I said, go through NCERT. That will get your language skills up and running. Your language will improve. Okay, so initially when you start writing, you're writing, but your brain is not working. So your pen stops because you're not able to think of the right vocabulary. You're not able to think of the right point. That will improve once you go through at least 3 months of current affairs from any magazine and daily news analysis, and you have covered the NCERTs. Once you have done that, then start writing answers. You can think of something. You'll have content to write. Okay, you cannot write random content in UPSC, so no point answer writing now, unless you have been preparing for last 6, 7 months or 3 months, 4 months at least. If you have done that, then start writing answers. And there is no way to improve answers, unless you start writing it. And writing only will not help. Approach somebody and get the answers reviewed. Okay. For example, if you are joining AptiPlus, go talk to your teachers and show them your answers. If you're not joining any coaching, find some senior and talk to them and show your answers. Okay, so getting review on your answer, that is very important. Let me just type it out. Not only writing, it is writing plus getting it reviewed and getting the feedback. Unless you get the feedback, you will not know what wrong you're doing. So probably once you have done around 100 answer writing and you've gotten feedback on 50, 60 of them, then you can just write on your own. Without getting feedback, that's okay, because you will know what needs to be done. You can yourself evaluate your answers. Okay, that you will reach that point. But that will only happen after 3 months, 4 months, 5 months of preparation, maybe after 6, 7 months of preparation. Okay. People are again asking for specific site names. Again, guys, I'm not doing it on purpose. Please, I mean, I can type a few names to the site, but it does not solve the purpose. First and second, that's not right on my part to do, because during my preparation, I have used so many sites. I have used so many sources. The reason I should not be telling you exact site that you should be following is because there is no site which is good enough for everyone. I may have liked Vision, or I may have liked AptiPlus, or I may have liked, for example, Insights. You may not like it. Okay. So I have already mentioned 3, 4, 5 sites: AptiPlus, Vision, Insights, IS Baba, GS Core. So there are 4 or 5 sites which are Drishti IS has their own site. So these are all sites which are good. So pick any one of them. Wherever you like the content, just go for it. Almost the content is the same. I can assure you that. How will the content change, right? For example, let's say Sabrimala, women entering Sabrimala is in news. The content is the same. They will talk about DPSPs. They will talk about fundamental rights of women. They will, almost all the articles will talk about that. And you will have plenty of content on Indian Express, on Hindu. You will also have a lot of content even on Times of India. You get good editorials. So any site, any paper is good enough as long as you're doing it for a long time consistently. Please remember that. That is important. Somebody asked me, finally a student, is it possible in the first attempt? Of course it is possible. If I could do it as a job working for 12 hours, if there are people who are doing it as a job working for 12, 14, 15 hours, why can't you do in your final year? So just have to take out time. I have already given you the schedule. 40, 45 hours a week you have to devote minimum. So take out 4 hours, 5 hours every day, despite of everything else, and you will be able to clear it. No issues. Somebody is asking note making. Again, note making is very personal, that you have to decide for yourself whether you want to make notes or not. I never made notes for myself. I used to revise from the book itself. So NCERT is almost in the form of notes. Institute materials, if you're going through for any topic, for example, economy, that itself is a note. Why should you make further notes out of it? I personally feel. But there are people who are more comfortable reading their own handwriting. They make concise notes. So if you have time and you can make it, make it. Okay, it's not mandatory. What is mandatory is remembering the syllabus and remembering the content that you're reading. That's all. The rest, everything is optional. Okay, last 2, 3 questions I think I should take before we wrap it up. Somebody just said, how do I segregate static from dynamic? You cannot and you should not segregate static from dynamic, because questions will not be in form of static or in form of dynamic. It's a mix of both. It's an application. Okay, so do not make segregated notes. Do not see them as 2 different things. It's the same thing. For example, if there is a beautiful editorial on Hindu on fundamental rights and how Supreme Court is working to protect fundamental rights. Let's say there is a case like Triple Talaq case. There is an editorial on that. Can you read that editorial and understand it without understanding what is Article 14, what is Article 19, what is Article 21? Or can you understand it without understanding the original jurisdiction of Supreme Court or the appellate jurisdiction of Supreme Court? You cannot, right? Static and dynamic must go together. Static is very, very important, more important than dynamic, because unless you understand static, you cannot understand dynamics, okay, or the current affairs. So go through your static first, very, very important. Somebody is asking if they can write mains in Bengali. I'm not really sure, guys, but I think English and Hindi definitely you can use to write mains. I don't know about regional languages. Probably somebody from institute can clarify if somebody is online and they know the answer. Let's see. So last 3 questions, guys, I'll just pick up. Somebody asked how to prepare CSAT. Very good question, because a lot of people actually miss out because of CSAT. I know a very good friend of mine who missed out because of 0.5 marks in CSAT paper. Okay. And next year he could not, unfortunately, I think get prelims. Now CSAT is very important. Do not neglect it. You must score 33% in CSAT. So people who, have done engineering, who have written entrance exams before, people who have done CAT and gone into MBA and all those things, the CSAT paper will not be very difficult for you. Okay. But yes, I should also tell you that UPSC has increased the difficulty of CSAT in 2017, 18, and 19 time frame. 19 CSAT was very, very difficult. A lot of people, because of CSAT, may have suffered. Okay, so CSAT you should practice. And if you are somebody who has never taken an entrance before, who has nothing to do with aptitude, you have never solved, reading comprehensions before, please focus on CSAT. Okay, it's a make or break for you. So CSAT practice, how can you do it? Just pick up 5 years of CSAT paper plus 5 test series papers for CSAT. Okay, 5 years of old UPSC CSAT papers and 5 years of test series CSAT papers. For example, if you're writing Apti Plus series, pick their test series CSAT papers and write it. If you're doing Vision test series or any other test series, pick their CSAT and write it. So if you do not have good command over reading comprehension or English language or aptitude, do at least 10 papers. Okay, do at least 10 papers of CSAT. I'll just copy it for everyone again. I think somebody got it. 5 years of CSAT paper of UPSC and 5 test series papers. At least 10 papers you should do if you are weak in aptitude and English. Okay, so that you know your strengths, you should know better. Somebody is asking what about SNT current affairs? Of course, current affairs source I have already told, papers, daily news analysis, and a good monthly magazine that will cover your SNT as well. There is no specific material for SNT. Yes, at the end of the year, what happens before you write the prelims or means, every institute comes up with their yearly magazine. Okay, along with monthly, they will have a yearly summary for you, subject wise. So I remember going through Apti Plus International Relations last year when I wrote mains. Sorry. So they have, Vision has their own 365. I think Insight has. Again, all the institutes, they have their yearly compilations. Just go through that, more than sufficient. And of course, the monthly you are doing, and for revision, you just do the yearly one on SLT, yearly one on environment, should be more than sufficient. See, important thing is not to do multiple sources. Okay, the important thing is not to cover 5 institutes monthly magazine. You cannot do that. The important thing is to cover one properly with 2 to 3, 4 revisions. Okay, so what you're doing, you should remember properly and then do. People are asking about interviews, guys. I'll only again, not the right forum, guys. You are preparing for prelims. You're very new to the process. Interview, we can discuss my experience and how to prepare and everything probably later point of time. Once you guys have written the prelims, probably that is the right time to talk about it. Last question. Okay, I'll take 2 more questions. One question is on compulsory English paper preparation for mains. Compulsory English paper preparation, you should not have to do separately. If you've done all your static properly, if you are going through the newspapers, compulsory paper, you will be able to do it. But yes, take 3-4 years of papers, old papers of compulsory language of English, as well as your regional language. For example, I wrote Odia. You have to clear that. Okay, so if you don't clear that, your mains marks will not be counted. You cannot qualify. And I know an IPS senior of mine, without taking names, from 70 to 71, 2017 batch, who suffered because of regional language. Okay, for 1 year. Next year he qualified for IPS. Take English paper and compulsory language paper very seriously. At least 5 years of prep. I'll again write it down for you guys. 5 years of compulsory language you must solve of old UPSC papers. And I don't think beyond that you need anything. Okay. Okay, last questions. Last question for the day. Should I go through compilations and not Hindu? See, these are not 2 different things. Okay. Hindu, whatever you study in Hindu or Indian Express is repeated in the magazine, and the magazine people, they add some value addition information on top of that. Okay. So in Hindu, maybe there is a news on, like recently there was news of delimitation of constituencies happening in Jammu Kashmir. So the paper article will only talk about Jammu Kashmir will go through delimitation. The magazine people, the coaching people, what they will do is they'll add some information about delimitation commission. Which article, for example, which article of constitution, is it 82, 83, 81, whatever the article is, that talks about delimitation commission. What is the composition of the commission? All this information they will value add in the magazine. Okay, and that is what you should get from the magazine. So do not stop reading newspapers because you're doing magazine. Go through your newspapers, and then on top of that magazine you should do. So that will help you in revision as well. Okay, so they are not exclusive. Okay, just because you're doing magazine, you should not stop papers. Just because you're doing papers, you should not stop magazines. Both are needed in a way. Okay. Last question: will questions be repeated by UPSC? They can repeat it. They do not repeat it often. I think from what I can remember, they have, from what I have seen, I think they have only repeated one question in recent history, in recent times, on Buddha. There was a question on Buddha and which all places he has traveled in India. That question was repeated twice. But by and large, I don't think they repeat questions. In UPSC, don't get repeated questions often, but they can. So, like I said, go through at least 5 years of prelims questions or mains questions. You should go through that. So if you go through that, practice it for yourself. Even if they repeat it, it's not a challenge. You'll be able to do it. Okay. So, okay, I think I should give the control back to Mr. Datta sir. Anybody from the institute? Yeah. Before that, thanks everyone for joining me, for joining us, and thanks Akshay. I hope you guys could benefit out of the session. It was amazing to see a lot of people join in, a lot of questions from you guys. Okay, and trust me, nothing excites me or anybody else more than once we get into service, it is absolutely exciting, and we love it when we get to interact with you people. Okay, we should always give back to society. So if we have done something good, we should share our experience with people. And the same thing even you should do. I hope all of you clear your exams, all of you get into services of your choice, and you help more people out, right? I would love to help you guys more. We'll try to arrange a similar session probably at a later point. Okay, guys, thanks a lot. Take care and stay safe. Like sir said, it's a huge crisis that humanity and the entire world is facing. So do not venture out. And I'll tell you one thing: every crisis has an opportunity with it, right? So this crisis is a beautiful opportunity for the UPSC aspirants like you to lock yourself in the house and prepare. Go into self-quarantine mode, devote all your time, take care, stay safe, okay? And all the very best, guys. Absolutely, all my best wishes for you guys. And thanks again, AptiPlus team for providing us this platform to interact. Thank you, guys. See you guys.